as you can read by the title, we have a lot of teams to cover, 15 in fact, and I don't even want to waste any time with an introduction. Drop a like on the video if you can, that would be appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you know. Let's start by going with the worst record last year to the best, the Houston Rockets. Although they played like a JV team pretty much after James Harden left, there is a lot of room for optimism. The number 2 pick, Jalen Green, elite athlete, explosive scorer, he's going to come in and immediately, he's going to make an impact in some kind of fashion as a scorer, incredibly high potential. Evan Mobley is another guy who they could pick at that position. He's someone who can pass, he's got perimeter skills for a big, he's got a lot of things that you want in a modern day big. That's with the 2nd overall pick. They've also got 2 other picks in the 1st round and a ton of picks going forward. But in terms of what they got on the roster right now, Christian Wood, walking 20 and 10, can shoot nearly 40% from 3 on nearly 5 attempts a game. That guy is legit. Kenyon Martin Jr. and Jay Sean Tate, the unsung heroes of this team, both got drafted really late for what they brought, but they're both guys that can defend. Kenyon Martin Jr. is really intriguing considering he blocked Rudy Gobert twice, and Boban Marjanovic can shoot the 3-ball, can attack the rim. He's got a lot of things you want. And then Kevin Porter Jr., he's got a lot of talent. Top 5 talent from his draft, dropped 50 and 10 on the Bucks. Do I need to say any more? And then let's talk about the Detroit Pistons. And we'll start by talking about Cade Cunningham. That's all. That's all we need to say about Cade Cunningham. You know what Cade Cunningham is, but if I'm being honest, the reason I really like the Pistons' future, it's not because they've got this crazy amount of talent. They've got a good amount of talent, but it's the way they fit. It's important that you've got guys, 5 guys that should all be able to shoot the ball going forward. Isaiah Stewart is the guy that could stretch the floor. They've got 5 guys who have all shown signs of being good defenders, versatile defenders that can guard different positions. You've got a backcourt that can both play make, can both defend, that are both big and physical. They're both going to be good going forward. And then Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant are the ideal prototypical 3-and-D wings that everyone wants on their team. Isaiah Stewart, as I said, he's someone that was seen as a rotation player after the draft. He's a lot more than that. He's a lot more than that. Averaged 2 blocks a game over the last 15 games of the season, took players off the dribble, shot the mid-range shot, took threes. That guy has it all. Also, Troy Weaver gives you a lot of room for optimism. Orlando Magic. Now, if you're an Orlando Magic fan, just drop a comment right now. Now that I've boosted my comments by 1, because I don't know if there's any Orlando Magic fans, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I actually really like their future. Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac is a forgotten name. Defensive Player of the Year potential. Over 2 blocks a game, over 1.5 steals a game in just his last year. That guy has it all defensively. I mean, he's literally a freak on the defensive end of the floor, and he's also got upside offensively. Markelle Fultz is someone I like. I think he's going to be solid. He's not a number 1 pick, obviously, but he's still going to be solid. And then take your pick out of the likes of RJ Hampton, Schumer Okeke, Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, and Wendell Carter Jr. That is a handful of young talent that are all going to be good. And personally, I really like RJ Hampton. I saw what he did in Denver. I saw what he did in Orlando. And straight away, he came into Orlando the last 10 games of the season. He averaged 15, 7, and 5 on 46% from the field and 40% from 3. Yeah, he was playing that good. The Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Do I need to say any more? That guy is ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Sometimes I feel like people don't quite appreciate what he did in just his 3rd year. He went from a 2nd-year player playing alongside Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, and then he went into a team where he was making guys like Poku, Moses Brown, and Theo Maledon look like a playoff team at times. That's how good he was. He was taking over games when he needed to. He averaged more points, more assists. He was still good defensively, and his efficiency climbed up. How rare is that for a player in their 3rd year to take the first option on a worse team and improve every single aspect of their game? That is rare. That's all I'll say. Lu Dort is a brick wall defensively, plus he improved his 3-point shooting and some of his offense. You've got Poku, who could be the best player in the world, or we could forget about him in 5 years' time. I'm not exactly sure at this stage. Darius Bazley can do a lot of things, but he also needs to polish up on a lot of those things. And you've got Sam Presti, who's a psychopath/genius that has about 7,000 picks stored up. Cleveland's next. Joking. Cleveland actually have a nice future, like everyone on this list. I'm genuinely not joking. That's why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like every one of these teams deserves some kind of recognition. Cleveland as well. Darius Garland. He had a really nice 2nd year, quietly averaged 17 and 6 on 40% from 3. I have no idea if they love or hate Colin Sexton. I still have no idea, but he's still good. He can still average 25 points a game, and he could still be a huge piece of their future. Isaac Okoro came in his 1st year and proved that he wasn't Stanley Johnson, averaging 16 points a game over his last 10, also being really good on the defensive end of the floor. His shooting still needs work, but he does appear to be legit. And then they also have a chance at getting a top pick in terms of Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, one of those guys. Whoever fits, whoever lands there, they're going to get someone of incredible talent to add to this team. Larry Nance Jr., Jared Allen, they've got pieces. It starts with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, and then you have some guys to build around. Minnesota, post-All-Star break, Anthony Edwards is enough. I could talk about Anthony Edwards for 60 seconds and why you should be optimistic, but averaging 25, 5 and 5 post-All-Star break, something ridiculous. On good efficiency, he showed that he can be an elite scorer. Defensively, he's still got some ways to go, but he is going to be a star in this league. There's absolutely no doubts about that. And then you've got Karl Anthony Towns, who is still a top 20-ish player in the league that could elevate to another level with a competent coach. Not to mention, post-All-Star break, the Timberwolves were a top offense. They were 16 and 19. They started to get a competent coach, they started to run a competent offense, and when you've got Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and even D'Angelo Russell started to look really nice fitting into that core, plus Jaden McDaniels, who I really like as a solid young piece, you've got enough talent there at the top ends, then you need to start building out the rest. That's what's up for the Timberwolves to do. They need to build out around Anthony Edwards and Cat, and they could be a playoff team again. Toronto, well, they're not really a lottery team, but they are, and they also got pretty lucky in the lottery by getting the top 4 pick, which is where we start. Jalen Suggs, whoever they get there, is going to be someone who is more highly touted than anyone they've drafted in recent years, and they've also made the most of any one of those guys that they've drafted. OG Anunoby, we may as well talk about him because he's a recent draftee, and he's been fantastic. He gets better every single year offensively. He took a leap, averaging 17 points a game this year. He's a knockdown three-point shooter. He started taking people off the dribble. He can guard positions 1 through 5, literally. I saw him guard Jokic, I saw him guard Embiid, and then I saw him guard guards. He's that good. He's going to be a star. He already kind of is, but he's legitimate. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam are 2 guys that are just below that all-star range. I think OG is going to be the future of this team alongside Jalen Suggs, whoever they get, but to have Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet as role players to a degree, you take that every single day of the week. Plus, don't underestimate having Nick Nurse and Masai Ujiri. That's just going to be huge. The Raptors aren't going to fail. They're going to be back. Chicago. We didn't get enough chance to see Zach LaVine and Vucci Mane. We just didn't get enough chance, but Zach LaVine, Zachary, 27 points a game on nearly 50, 40, 90. That guy is legit. He improved defensively. He improved offensively. He's a star in this league right now. And Vucci Mane, he's not as good as Zach, but you know you're getting an all-star level kind of player alongside Zach. And then the key for them is Patrick Williams. He's someone who I saw guard Zion Williamson on one night and then Devin Booker on the other night. He's got defensive versatility. He's the guy that they need to turn into that third star. Ideally, their second star, in my opinion. I think he's got that kind of potential alongside LaVine, who can guard multiple positions. He can shoot off the mid-range. He can shoot from 3. He's got serious talent. There's a reason they took him at 4, and I think they're going to be rewarded. Hopefully next year is when they get fully rewarded, because he's legitimately good. Also, Jim Boylan isn't a coach anymore, so you can rejoice in that. No more Jim Boylan. So that's cool. Sacramento. No, they've got some nice pieces. I've talked about De'Aaron Fox in a recent video because I think he's legitimately great. 25-7 on a team where Tyrese Halliburton was his second best player and he was coached by Luke Walton. Fire him and I'll be even more optimistic about your future, but still have Luke Walton. You've got De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton. One of the best young backcourts in the league. Tyrese Halliburton, as a rookie, averaged like 13 and 6 a game. He's just a winning player. He shoots the ball well. He makes the right passes. Defensively, his anticipation is elite. He does so many things really well that I love to see it. Harrison Barnes is someone you want to build with alongside Rashawn Holmes. Those are the guys that you put around those two building pieces in Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox, and you've got yourself a pretty nice team. As I said, build out the rest of the team, draft someone as a wing in the 10th pick, and you've got something there, Sacramento. You might have something there. New Orleans. Stan Van Gundy's gone. Rejoice in that. Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson is insane. I watched pretty much every New Orleans game because of that reason, and he did not disappoint. 27 points a game, efficiency through the roof. The guy can play make, the guy can score, the guy can create. He does everything. He needs to defend a bit better, but his defense also improved over the years. Brandon Ingram, someone else who needs to defend better. There's a common theme with this New Orleans team. Defend better, and all of a sudden you turn this team from potential into a legitimate playoff team. They lost a lot of close games, which if they don't do that this year, then all of a sudden they'll probably be in the playoffs. Zion, Brandon Ingram, those are your stars. I really like what Jackson Hayes did towards the end of the season. His numbers were good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, when he started, was putting up great production. Kyra Lewis, they need to get a shooter in the draft. Get a shooter. Corey Kispert, I don't care who you get a shooter alongside Zion, a better coach than Stan Van Gundy, and New Orleans, they have a great future. It's Zion, man. It's Zion. You can't mess it up. You cannot. Don't mess it up. The Spurs are an interesting one because they don't obviously have a Zion level talent, which is what they're missing. They've got so many nice young players: DeJounte, Keldon, Lonnie, Derek, and Jakob. And I actually want to start with Jakob Poeltl because towards the end of the season, he was blocking shots. He was offering really great rim protection. I remember Spurs fans were telling me about him earlier in the year, and he seemed to just get better and better all throughout the year. And I think he's someone going forward. He's not going to be a Rudy Gobert, I don't think, but he's going to be a really good defensive player to have as your anchor. Then you've got Keldon Johnson. Maybe he's the guy that takes you to the next steps because you need someone to take you to that next step. You need someone to turn into an all-star. You've got a lot of good role players. It's time to find that all-star. Keldon Johnson could be that guy. The Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball, Rookie of the Year. He's a star. He came in and immediately he made an impact on and off the court, which is important for Charlotte, so that was good. Gordon Hayward is also a very solid player. He just needs to stay healthy. He's going to give you 25 and 5 on efficient shooting, plus play pretty good defense. He's someone that you can plug and play. He's going to play different roles. He's going to do different things, and he's great. And then you have someone like Miles Bridges, who really turned into a legitimately good player towards the end of the season. 16 and 6 on great efficiency post All-Star break, and also gave us, quite a few highlights. Scary Terry, definitely not overpaid. And if Charlotte can get a nice big or a nice wing to go alongside these guys in free agency, I know PJ Washington is good, but if they can get another big, all of a sudden this team is just going to be better. It's that simple. You've got a lot of reason to be optimistic, but they're going to be even more optimistic if you can do well in free agency or the draft. The Indiana Pacers, their offseason holds the key. As of right now, we have no idea what this roster is going to look like. But all I know is Caris LeVert. Yeah, Caris LeVert, in his last 15 games of the season, he averaged 25, 5 and 6 on 46, 36, 82 splits. And, well, he turned into the player that I think he can be. He can be a genuine star. And alongside Malcolm Brogdon, that's the backcourt where you have the balanced Brogdon who's going to make the right decisions. Sometimes boring, but he's just so good. He gets the job done. And then Caris LeVert, who can go off for 35 points on any given night. Miles Turner or Sabonis, you're going to have to make a decision. TJ Warren's probably going to come out of hiding now because I think he hated Nate Bjorkgren, which is another positive. Now you've got a better bald coach. You went from a bald coach to a bald coach to a bald coach, and you ended up with Rick Carlisle, so you can't be too mad. All of a sudden, you make a trade, you make a deal. This team has a lot to offer. They've kind of snuck under the radar because they didn't do anything last year with Nate and some injuries, but they've still got a lot of talent, and Caris LeVert could be the piece that takes them forward. And then last but not least, the Golden State Warriors. Like I said about the Raptors, particularly about the Warriors, they are not a lottery team, but we're still going to talk about them. There's reason to be optimistic. That guy Stephen Curry, I'd be pretty optimistic if I had him on my team. Draymond Green, Defensive Player of the Year level player. Klay Thompson, we can talk about the draft picks. We can talk about Wiseman. We can talk about Jordan Poole, who I may as well talk about right now. End of the season played really nicely. I think he's a really, really good young player that's going to make a huge impact. But Klay Thompson is the key. If he comes back, that is enough room in itself to be completely overjoyed if you're a Warriors fan. If he comes back good, should I say. And I have positivity. I have faith that he will come back good, but we still need to see it, and I can't wait to see it. Klay Thompson. What else do I need to say? They get Klay Thompson coming back. Come on now. And that is it. I probably spewed out more words in about 15 minutes than I've ever done in my life. So if you enjoyed that, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Other than that, have a good day. I'll catch you next time. Bye.